All right, so let's take a look at manipulating certain data types, including arrays in Mongo, and see that sometimes when we ask these data types to save, right, they're not actually saving, right? So let's just create here a place where we can play around with arrays, Mongo arrays. And let's create a data model real quick here, models. Let's create two models in here. One of them, so let's put it in here, models. And let's create two models here. Let's grab Mongoose, okay? And let's create a container. Websites, right? For instance, oh no, actually no, let's do it with pages. So page schema, and the page schema might have the following attributes. We'll have obviously maybe a name for the page, right? Right? And another thing that we'd like to be have here perhaps is an array of widgets, right? And the array of widgets can be the schema of the widgets, which we don't have just yet, right? But it will be something like, actually no, a reference, right? A reference to widgets, okay? So the type for this will be what? Will be something like mongoose, right? Mongoose dot schema dot types dot, what is it? Object ID, right? Is that correct? And then we would have to reference this as a reference to some model, right? Which will be the widgets. So this will be something like lectures widget model. Okay, right? Which will be implement a little later. Let's create the other schema here. All right, let's create the model for this, the page model, and this will be mongoose.model, and the model will be the we'll have this name right here, right? Oh no, wait, not that's no. This will be something like this will be the widget lectures page model, right? There we go, and based on the schema that we just created, page schema. Right? Everybody okay? Right? So let's create the widgets that are going to be inserted inside of this array. Right? So we'll say var the widget schema, and so this will be mongoose schema, right? And this will have the type of the schema, the type of the widget could be a string. Right, and enum. The only strings allowed here might be YouTube, right? Might be image, right? Or maybe a paragraph. Okay, right. So three types of widgets. Okay, let's keep it simple. Let's create now the model for this. Will be the widget model, and it'll be mongoose.model, and the model name that we chose here was lectures widget model. Yes, right, and the schema is the schema we just created. Okay, all right. So this replicates that notion of having a parent page, right, containing a collection, an array of several instances of widgets. Yes, and we'd like to be able to reorder them, right, and manipulate their order on the page. Yes. Okay, so let's create a few of these things. Let's see. Let's create one page. So page model create, and the page. Let's see. This is the home page. So this is the name of the page, right? The name of the page. Name of the page. So we'll say that's it, right? Let's just have that. Okay, and let's create that page. Oh, so in the schema, also we'd like to maybe select we'd like to be able to select the collection, right? So we'll say collection, and the collection might be lectures, evening, and this will be this is on arrays, and this is the page, right? And similarly, we'll choose a collection for the widgets, right? So this will be comma collection. This will be the widget. Okay. Now we need to store it somewhere in a database. Let's how do we open up a database? Let's see. How do we do that? I forget. Did we do that here? No, we didn't do that here. Where did we do that? I think we did it in the test, didn't we? There we go. We have a connection string. So let's we have Mongoose. We have the connection string right here, right? And what else? And just connect. That's it, right? There it is. On the connection string, we're going to say this is a lecture, lectures evening. All right, so we can run this independently, all by itself, right? We don't need to start up the entire application. Yes? All right, so let's run this. See if we break something. Let's see. Let's run this from the terminal. Let's see where we are. We are in Postgre. Let's go up twice, and let's go down to Mongo Arrays. All right, let's go down to models, and let's run models. Okay, so this will be node models. All right, it didn't complain. All right, nothing didn't give me exceptions, so that's promising. Let's connect to Mongo. Let's connect to Mongo and show databases, and hopefully the new database we just created. There it is, lectures evening. So let's use that database, show the collections, and indeed we have a page collection. So we'll say db.lectures evening.find, and we have that one page, the home page. Yes? So that looks promising, right? So let's now add a couple widgets in there. Okay? Let's see. Let's create a couple widgets. Let's comment this out, and let's create a widget model dot create a widget that's going to have the type is going to have YouTube, and let's create a couple. Another one would be the paragraph widget, and then another one, finally, an image widget. And let's give numbers. I guess we can't give them numbers. How about somehow we give them a name, right? We give them widgets. We give them some name so that when we move them around, right, we make sure that indeed they are moving. Okay, right. So let's add to the widget schema. Let's give it a name in a string, so that over here we can say name. We can say 0, and this is a widget 0. And let's paste that in all these. So this is widget 1 and 2. Okay? So that when we move them around, we can actually verify that indeed they are moving around. Okay? All right, so let's create those 3 widgets. Let's run this. And let's check that they made it into the database. Show collections. Indeed, we have widgets. Let's see. We can say db.lectures evening arrays widgets find pretty. And indeed, we have those 3 widgets. Yes, widget 0, 1, and 2. Everybody good? All right. So what we'd like to be able to do is manipulate these things, right? Yes.
I have a question on the relationship between the page and widget.
Yeah.
Now, a page has an array of widgets, right?
Yes.
So, if I want to delete one of the array elements on the command on the terminal, what should I give the command as? If it's a widget model, you just do dot drop.
Yes, right.
Well, if you want to remove it by the page model, from the page model.
Yeah, that's what we're going to do now. Right. First, let's add the widgets to the page, right, as in the array, right? So let's do that. So let's grab the model. Let's find a page by ID. Find by ID, and the ID is, let's see, we have a page here. It's this one right there. Let's grab there, and in function is going to return an error or hopefully the page itself. Yes, and in here we're just going to say console log page, just to make sure that indeed we are retrieving it. Right. So let's run this again. So yeah, so we were able to retrieve the model. We retrieve the page, right, with an empty set of widgets. So let's add widgets. Let's add widgets. So we have page. We can say page.push, right, and we can push the ID of each one of the widgets. Yes. So let's do that. Let's push. Let's see, widget number. Where are they? This one. Right, and let's push all three. Let's push this one. And let's push this one. Right there. Okay. Once we're done pushing, we're going to save back to the database. Right. So we're going to say page.save, and at some point this will either give you an error or the page again. Right. And we can do console log page. Okay. Right. So let's run this from the command line. And oops. What did I do? Oh, I'm sorry. Page.widget. Thank you. See, somebody's listening. There we go. So let's do that again. Okay. So notice that when it came back from the database the second time around, it indeed has the arrays, the array populated with the IDs of those widgets. And if we go to Mongo and we query for the page, we see that and we prettify it, we see that indeed the widget has those IDs, right, as references to widget objects. Correct? Right? And next time around, if what we'd like to be able to do now is remove the widgets, right? Well, I'm sorry, not remove them. So remove them is easy, right? The hard part is what seems not to be working with some of you. You've pointed out is that when we order them, we move them around, right? It seems to be ordered, but then they're not saved in the correct order when you save it back to the database, right? So let's try to replicate that problem. So here we have the first. Let's make sure that we get the page. Let's run this. Okay, so we do get the widget. I mean the page with the widgets. Very good, right? So we like to move things around, right? And let's put it inside of a function. Reorder widgets. Okay, widgets. And this will say we'll have a start index and we'll have an end index. Meaning, put the widget in the start index. Put it so that it ends up in the location of this index end. Make sense? Right. So let's do that. So let's put it in here. So for instance, I might call this function like this, right? Reorder the widgets 1 or 0, 2. That means that the widget that was in location index position 0, I now want the one that was at the beginning, I want it now to be last, basically, right? Okay. So let's do that. What we're going to do is we're going to reorder this. We're going to say page.widgets. Basically, what we're going to do is use splice, right, to be able to move things around. What we're going to do is that we're going to splice out the widget from position in the start position, and then we're going to splice it back in, right, into the correct position. Okay, so let's do that. So this outer splice is going to be an insert, meaning put it back where it goes. But first, we need to take it out. All right? So let's do that. So let's do another splice in here. So this is where it's going to end up, right? It's going to end up in location end. That's where I wanted to put it, right? I don't want to remove anything, meaning this is going to be an insert. That 0 means that I'm not removing anything. I am actually adding. I need to tell it now, what do I want to add? Yes? Right, that's what this means, right? This is where I want to insert. This is 0 means I'm not removing anything, meaning this is an insert. And now I have to tell it where I'm retrieving what this is that I want to put in end. So basically, I want to splice out the widget that was in position start. Yes? I want to splice out just that one widget I want to splice out. Okay? So splice returns an array of objects, right? Of things that you have spliced out, because this could be a 2 or 3 or 4 or 5, right? I want to splice out 3 elements. So this would return an array of the 3 elements that were spliced out. Make sense? If I say 1, I'm splicing out just 1 element, but it's still going to be an array of 1 element. Make sense? So to get at that 1 element, just going to say bracket 0, meaning that 1 element, the first element in that array, which is just 1. Make sense? So that's the element that I want to splice out, and then I want to put it back in. Okay? So let's do that. And notice I'm just going to do a console, right? I'm going to do a console page before and after, just to see what happens. Right? So terminal, let's run this again. Oops, what'd I do? Widgets. Oh. Okay, thank you. I meant to do that. So there it is. So we have, notice that here's where it was the beginning one, right? It ends with 2DE. And notice that it's now the last one, 2DE. See that? So we were effectively able to move these things around. Notice that the second one here, 2DF, becomes the first one, 2DF, which is exactly what we wanted to happen, right? But the database still thinks, right? The database doesn't know, right? You changed this in a copy in RAM, right? The database doesn't know that you were working with a stale version of the data, right? And you did your own modifications. The database doesn't know anything about it. So we need to go back to the database and say, hey, the array has changed, right? So we're going to say page save. We're going to say save, and then we're going to do a console we're going to do function error, and we're going to get back the page object, and we're going to do a console again. We're going to do a console again. So save, presumably, is going to go back to the database and update the database accordingly, right? With the new array having been modified, okay? So if we run this, it worked. Wait, what? 2DE. 2DE. Wait, database? Crap. So this is not exactly what was happening. Anyway, the lady who came to me, the way we fixed it, maybe that lady was using an older version of MongoDB. Maybe. Anyway, the way we fixed it was the following. Mongoose mark modified. Mark modify. Is that it? No, wait. Mark. Need to update Mongoose model. It was considering that array because we just had modified, just moved things around. The database was not considering that the array had actually changed, right? So it wasn't going back to the database to update the database, right? So we had to explicitly tell the database that yes, indeed I want you to make sure that you go and update that particular field, right? So what we did is say page. Once we spliced everything out, we say page dot mark modified and the widget field. Okay, and that fixed it. Right. I guess my example is a little bit too simple compared to hers. And it was modifying it. Okay, so we were able to modify it again. All right, I think this should fix it. Okay, so try it out. Try out the mark modified. Right, that should fix it if it wasn't saving it correctly. Yes.
In the assignment, it says the reorder widget should be on the widget model, ordering on the page model here. This way it looks way better.
Well, yeah, you could have the you could have the all the models in one single place. Right, you can have all the models in one single place, and you can have from the widget model access the page model. Oh, so what does it say to put the function reorder on the actual widget model?
Yeah.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, no, I think I would put it better in the page model. I would put it in the page model. Yeah, it would be much nicer there. Although, right, we had said that we could have all the models available in one single models variable, right? So that those models you can then pass it around, right, and have it available anywhere.
So that we can actually access in our service layer, but we should actually make the database model layer separate from each collection.
Yes. Yep. Okay. All right. Let's have a short break, and then we'll come back and talk about security.